Talk about when you heard the news that you had breast cancer. You had a different reaction than anybody I know. You thought, yippee, I'm out of here.
Well, I mean, John, being a quadriplegic after 46 years, you're looking forward to the new glorified body in heaven. This is something that's pretty cool. Plus dealing with chronic pain, all those things were pushing my heart home to heaven. And dealing with the daily pain made it extremely difficult just to wake up in the morning and find the energy to go through the day. And so when I got the diagnosis that I had cancer, stage 3 breast cancer, I thought, wow, Jesus, this is my ticket to heaven. And any depression I may have had beforehand just vanished overnight, absolutely overnight with a snap of the finger. But then when I saw Ken's increasing devotion toward me, because it's one thing to give care out of a sense of duty or obligation. You know, if you're a paid nurse, you're required to do it. It's one thing to give care because you got to honor your vows. Yes, all those are good reasons to give care. But it's quite something else when you see the caregiver reach out to you, not out of a sense of duty and obligation, but because he wants to be with you. He wants you to be comfortable. He wants you to have the best medical treatment. He wants your pain to be relieved. And he wants the right surgeon for your mastectomy. I mean, all these things, I could see in Ken's eyes his devotion to me, mainly because of his increasing devotion to Jesus Christ. That was huge.
Yeah. The thing that you feared the most, you start the chemo, and usually when you get chemo, it breaks down the immune system even further. You're already weak. You pick up pneumonia, your greatest fear. You're claustrophobic, and you can't breathe.
Absolutely.
Tell me about the night, and I want to talk about how he's turning you over because you can't breathe, you can't get the phlegm up, and then I want to talk about what you prayed and then what happened.
Well, it's one thing to be a quadriplegic and lying flat on your back trying to get to sleep, but when you have to deal with phlegm and liquid in your lungs gurgling up in your throat, it's such a horrifying feeling that you're drowning and you can't sit up, you can't raise your head, you're just flat on the bed. And I remember I was just one night so weary. The chemotherapy had exhausted me. I was so tired of being nauseous and dealing with the quadriplegia and the pain. And I said, oh, Jesus, tonight I just need a touch from you. I need to feel you, see you. I need to know that you're near. And the next moment I must have dozed off, and then when I awoke from the gurgling in my throat, I had to call Ken to come help me sit up in bed and expel the phlegm. And as he stands over my bed in this dim bedside lamp, I look straight up into his eyes, and oh my goodness, you're him. And he said, I'm what? I said, you're him, you're Jesus. And it was the most wonderful revelation that my husband would be my savior for that moment. He was my rescuer and my deliverer. He was Christ's ambassador in the best sense of the word. And it was a glorious feeling.
She told you this afterwards. What did you
Pretty
think?
humbling. It's very humbling when your wife thinks that you're representative of Jesus. But, you know, that was one of those opportunities that I had to demonstrate my love for Christ through my love for Jesus, or through my love for Johnny.